What's up, folks? Your buddy Fatalroadie. Today we're doing a Smackdown review. We started off with the memorial for Bullet Bob Armstrong, who passed away the other day. And we got a recap of The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Roman Reigns from SummerSlam. Then backstage we got Adam Pearce talking to security, telling him we have to get on top of things. Pearce walks into Vince McMahon's office. Hopefully McMahon isn't holding a rewritten copy of the show. Vince tells Pearce that he needs Wyatt, Strowman, and Reigns to sign the contract. Sends him off on his way. Back in the ring, we got Jeff Hardy coming out. He's quickly interrupted by AJ Styles. AJ chastises Hardy for what he did last week, calling Hardy a liar and a cheat. Jeff Hardy says he was going to give an open challenge to anybody except for Styles. AJ protests, telling Jeff Hardy he's trying to work the system. Hardy lays out AJ Styles, and then we have our next match. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the Intercontinental title. AJ Styles is at ringside. This was a good match, minus AJ Styles at commentary. It had a pretty good pace to it. Hardy throws Nakamura over the table into Styles. Nakamura tries to go for the Kinshasa. Hardy was able to evade. Hits Nakamura with the knee that had the brace on it. Hits the Twist of Fate, the Swanton Bomb, and gets the pin. As Hardy's making his way up the ramp, Sami Zayn comes out of nowhere. Haven't seen him for a couple of months. He's holding his Intercontinental title, claims that he's never been beaten for it, calls Jeff Hardy a fraud. As Hardy is distracted by Styles, Sami Zayn lays out Jeff Hardy. So I'm going to be guessing we're going to see that match at Payback. Then we got an episode of the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt comes in. He says that something's missing from the Funhouse. Oh yeah, there it is. It's the Universal title. He says it's good to see Roman Reigns back, but there's somebody at the door. And it's Postman Pete. He's there to get Bray Wyatt to sign the contract. Wyatt signs and says it looks like he just signed a couple of people's death warrants. And we got Matt Riddle coming out to the ring. He's talking about King Corbin's ransom. Calls out King Corbin, and then we just fucking cut to a commercial. What? Nothing. It's like, okay. Back from commercial, Matt Riddle calls out Corbin again. What? Okay, why did we take a commercial break? That would just cut everything to shit. King Corbin comes out, and a bit of predictability because they had the camera like way in on Matt Riddle. Shorty G attacks Riddle from behind. King Corbin says he accepts Matt Riddle's challenge on behalf of Shorty G, so that's our next match. Matt Riddle versus Shorty G. King Corbin's at ringside. It was a short match, a quick little bit of back and forth. The Bro Derek and Matt Riddle wins it. Corbin tries to attack Riddle from behind, but he was ready for it. Starts to fight off Corbin, but he buggers out. Backstage, Adam Pearce is at Roman Reigns' door trying to get him to sign a contract. There's no answer. We find out that King Corbin wants Matt Riddle at Payback. Okay. Then we got Sasha Banks and Bayley coming out. After hyping themselves up, Bayley apologizes to Sasha Banks for getting her involved with the Women's Championship on Raw and makes a slight dig on how Sasha Banks always fails at title defenses. They're interrupted on Titantron by Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. They each point out that they hate each other, but have one thing in common, that they want the tag team titles. Sasha Banks says she will get her vengeance at Payback and looks right over at Bayley and ends it by saying that they will be keeping their titles. I really think they're going to be losing them. Backstage, Adam Pearce is looking for Braun Strowman. He comes up on Drew Gulag, who's pissed at what Strowman did to him last week. Gulag grabs a steel chair, runs up to Strowman, smacks him over the back with it. Strowman no-sells it. Gulag tosses the chair over to Pearce. Strowman, who's pissed off, says that he'll sign the contract if he gets Drew Gulag back out in the ring. So that's our next match, Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulag. Before the match, Sami Zayn meets up with Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Zayn takes credit for them winning the tag titles. And in short, Cesaro tells him to get to stepping. So back out in the ring, Strowman versus Gulag. It was a glorified squash match, as you can guess. Strowman won it. Strowman's walking up the ramp. Adam Pearce meets him up on the stage, and Strowman signs his contract. Backstage, Kalisto tells the Lucha House Party to stay back here. As he walks off, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro beat down the Lucha House Party. And our next match, Kalisto versus Cesaro. Shinsuke Nakamura is at ringside. This is a power versus speed match. It was really good. I liked it. Kalisto was pulling off some insane spots. Nakamura gets up on the apron for a distraction. The Lucha House Party come running out to intercept him. This distracts Kalisto, and Cesaro gets a surprise roll-up. Shocker, who knew that? After the match, Kalisto is pissed at the Lucha House Party. Backstage, Adam Pearce comes up to Vince McMahon, says he's only able to get 2 signatures. McMahon tells Pearce that he better go over to Roman Reigns' door and knock it down. Backstage, Nikki Cross is talking to Tamina. Alexa Bliss comes walking up. She says she's okay. Nikki Cross points out that Alexa Bliss has a pink dreadlock on her hair and that it reminds her of The Fiend. Alexa Bliss gets pissed off about this and breaks Nikki Cross's mug. We also got Miz and Morrison talking to Sheamus about their strategy for their 6-man tag match next. So it's Heavy Machinery and Big E versus Miz and Morrison and Sheamus. This unfortunately was not a good match in my opinion. I mean, it was decent, but I really don't like these just thrown together matches just for the sake of getting a match in. The Miz and Big E last week on Talking Smack had a little bit of beef with each other. Put them in a match just by themselves. No need to start just jamming people in just to get people on the show. But anyway, partway through the match, Sheamus rings the ring bell for no goofy ass reason. Sheamus is getting pissed that Miz and Morrison are tagging each other in and totally ignoring him. Sheamus gets pissed, like I said, and says, "Later, dudes," and starts walking off, leaving Miz and Morrison holding the bag. Big E tags in, starts tearing people up. Everyone gets their spots in. Big E hits the big ending on the Miz, gets the pin. Okay. Backstage, Adam Pearce is talking to Roman Reigns. Reigns says he's going to whoop everybody's ass. He's going to win the Universal title. And in a slightly revealing bit of words, he says that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. As we pan over, and he's sitting right next to Paul Heyman. Heyman says, "Believe that," and we end tonight's SmackDown. Tonight's SmackDown was decent, being that we're 2 days away from another pay-per-view in 2 weeks. I swear, September better have no pay-per-views. We got 2 in 2 weeks. We're good until October. Anyways, like I said, SmackDown was decent. Last match was, okay. It's good to see that we're kind of pushing along the Alexa Bliss with the Fiend story. It's interesting to see that Paul Heyman is now with Roman Reigns. So if Brock Lesnar decides to show up, how's that going to work? But we'll have to wait to see on that. The Thunderdome was decent. Hopefully we didn't have anything that was going to get anybody in any trouble this time. There was one spot through the show that we just totally zoomed straight in on an LED board, and okay, well, shit happens. But all in all, good SmackDown. I liked it. And that'll do it for this episode of SmackDown Review. I'll be back on Sunday for the Payback pay-per-view. So leave a comment down below what you thought tonight's SmackDown, what you thought about this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. I've been Fatalroadie. You've been awesome. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's too loud, you're too old. See ya.